Okay, so, good morning. Good morning. I survived. I survived. And I'm so excited that I survived because if anybody has ever had a 15 or 16-year-old that is learning how to drive, or even an older kid, you'll understand that, yay, I survived. Here she is. We have just driven all over the North Texas here, and she was learning how to, I took her out on a farm road and made her go through railroad tracks, like up a hill, like, you know, a great big hill with opposing traffic, and then merged onto an actual paved road and had to come to stoplights and stop signs and semis and all this good shit. And then went from basically 20 miles an hour up to 60 miles an hour, slowly progressed into that. And she got to bring us all the way home into the driveway and actually parked in the garage without running into the laundry room. So we survived. There was only one little moment, just one little itty bitty moment where I actually thought that we may not survive. I actually did think that. It was like, oh crap. And I'm like, it's funny, like when you feel like you're gonna have an impact and you find yourself doing these things of like, oh my god, and I'm reaching for the side door, I'm reaching for the steering wheel, I'm hitting the brakes that are not on my side of the car. I'm like, brake. Yeah, but we survived. So children, yes, we love children. And she's now sitting here after cleaning up her puppy crate. So, and then, you know, this whole conscious coffee is actually the last few days. Oh, I'm going to say hello to people before I get into all of this here. Oh my goodness, a whole bunch of people on. Morning, Michelle, Michael, Kristen, Faye, Michael, and Jeremy, Addison, morning, Lauren, Daniel, morning, yes, morning everybody. So I'm not really drinking coffee. I've had enough coffee after the last like 40-minute trek home. Definitely don't need any more coffee. I've got enough jitters. No, actually, really, she did really good. I'm very proud of her for the first time actually dealing with opposing traffic, of which started with semis and stuff, which was, you know, go big or go home, right? But this conscious coffee is really about not settling. It's not about my daughter's amazing first-time driving skills of not killing us. Yay. It is actually about not settling. And the topic of not settling has just kind of come to me so much over the last few months, but for sure the last couple weeks, it has been very prevalent in my life, and just me looking at different things. I have a lot of people in my life that I feel want me to do different things, and lots of opportunities and connections and all this really good stuff, really good stuff. And from the outside perspective, somebody might look at it and go, hey, you know, you've got all this great stuff going on in your life. Why wouldn't you want to just keep that in your life? Why wouldn't you just want to just, you know, like really step into that, really expand into that and grow and connect and see where it takes you, you know, like just let it be and see where it will take you. Enter that flow. Well, here's the thing. If you have questions around something, which is what I've been kind of finding myself doing, is that I have these different questions around stuff. I'm not a solid fuck yes to something. So if you're not a solid fuck yes to it, then guess what? You're probably a fuck no to it. And if you lean into it and you try to force that to happen because you're actually a fuck no, then it's going to fall apart, because what's going to happen is that you're going to find yourself not being able to communicate what you really need. You're going to sidestep your own needs, your own desires, your own wants to make sure that you fit into this box over here that most likely somebody else is wanting you to fit into. Matter of fact, I had a conversation the other day. You know me, squirrel, but it's not really a squirrel. It's not really a squirrel. I had this conversation the other day with somebody, and they were talking about how they wanted to capture my heart. So this is a romantic situation, and we're saying that we're having a good conversation, and this person says to me, I'm going to win your heart. And I said, why do you want to win my heart? And he says to me, because I can. And I was like, okay, that's cool. You think that you can? He's like, no, because I know that I can, because I know that I can withstand, and I can hold, and I can give you what you need, what you want. And I thought, well, that's kind of, that's, you don't know me that well to know what I need or what I want yet. We're not at that kind of level. That normally takes like 2, 3, 4 years to like really get in there and really know somebody. You got to go through some shit with somebody to actually really know if you can fulfill all aspects of what that person's needing in different ways, and can you actually lean into letting them have other relationships outside of that one, whether that's friends or whatever that might be. But this idea of I'm going to win your heart, and I said, well, okay, so let's say you win my heart. What does that mean? What does that mean? What are you going to do with my heart once you win it, right? So you win my heart. Now what are you going to do with it? And this was the message, and it was just really, I know that it was supposed to be a beautiful message, but it triggered me in all the wrong way. It triggered me because the message was, well, somebody is calling me. It was probably my internet service. I've been fighting with my internet company that I don't have yet for 2 weeks, and I still don't have internet, even though they've told me that they're going to bring me my internet box for 2 weeks. Yeah, I can't get connected. And there's a message in that too, right? I can't get connected. But no. So he says to me, I'm going to keep it in a box. I'm going to keep it safe. I'm going to keep it in a box. And I know that there was in his mindset, what the message was is that I value your heart, I honor your heart, I love you, I want to keep you safe, I want to keep everything safe and all this different stuff, and I want to support you and protect you. And that's wonderful. Thank you, right? But the concept of I'm going to put you in a box, what a powerful message came from that. Because what happens? We tend to want to put the people that we love, the people that we are in relationship with, into a box. That's what we do. We tend to want to put them into a box. And we want to keep them in this little box. And God forbid they actually try to step out of that box. God forbid that we want to do anything. I'm sorry, somebody just texted me that they want to punch me. I'm hoping that comment is because they just saw a yellow bug. If that person ends up on here, please tell me that you just saw a yellow bug. That's why you're right. I play slug bug. Text message comes in. I really want to punch you right now. I'm like, all right. What did I say? But what we want to do is we want to put our partners into this box. In relationship, we try to put people into a box. In our friendships, especially in our romantic relationships, we get involved with somebody and then we go into this box. And we're like, we're going to put you here. This is what I need. And here's a little box that everything fits into. So, I want you in this box because I have decided that you're the one. I've decided that I'm going to capture your heart. I've decided that I'm going to put my all into you. And because I'm going to put my all into you, and because I'm 100% a fuck yes to you, or at least I think I am 100% a fuck yes to you in the aspect of I need you in this box. And as long as you're in this box, then I'm a fuck yes to you. If you're not in this box, I'm going to have issues with you not being in the box the way I need you to be in the box. Don't let yourself hang out of that box. Don't let yourself get all comfortable and like kick back and put your feet up or anything in the box. No, don't do that. I want you nice and neat and tidy in this little relationship box, acting the way I want you to act, looking the way I want you to look, speaking the way I want you to speak, doing what I want you to do, having the turn-ons that I want you to have, having the, being content the way I want you to be content, being satisfied and fulfilled the way I want you to be satisfied and fulfilled, wanting and needing me the way I want you to want and need me. I don't want you to do you. Although I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you that I want you to do you. Although I'm going to tell you that I love you for how you are, that you're beautiful just the way you are. I'm going to tell you that I'm going to treat you the way you should be treated, the way nobody else has ever treated you before. Yeah, guys, I am kind of hitting you here because this is what as women get. We get told this by the men in our lives. And I have spent the last, about, what's it been? Since I was 16, and I'm now 42. So it's been a few years of men telling me the same shit over and over again. And every single guy will tell me as though he is the one who is going to love me better. He is the one who is going to do this better. He's the one who's I'm I don't fucking care about what your verbal resume is to me, about who you think you are or how you think you're going to show up. Telling me this or that and trying to put me in this box is just not going to fucking work. Don't put your girl in a box or else she won't be your girl. Plain and simple. Like, if you love the feminine for the feminine, and you love our flow, and you love the way we move, and you love the way we dance, and you love, like, you got to get on board with our moods. You got to get on board with us being women. And in order for us to be turned on and aroused and connected and really wanting to be with you, then we need to feel the support and the love the way we need to feel support and love, not the way somebody is dictating to us that we should. Try to put, plenty of women will get in the box. They'll get in the box because they want the paycheck. They'll get in the box because they want the house, the car, the stability, the lifestyle. They'll get in the box because they're scared that they can never find somebody better. They're scared that they can't find somebody at all. They don't want to die an old maid, right? They don't want to be single because there's this nastiness around being single, right? Like, oh, it's horrible. And you know what? Just the last 2 days, I have been kind of just going, I think I might just dump all the men in my life and I'm going to just go do me, because guys are causing me a lot of drama and they're sidetracking me away from doing what I want to do with my life, which means that I'm really kind of a fuck no to all these different scenarios that are presenting themselves, which are all telling me that this is the way to go. I should settle here. I should want this. I should do this. This is the way to go. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it all. Just fuck it all. That's just like, that's where it kind of is at, because the more you try to put somebody, and this is true for us too, ladies, if you try to put your guy into a box, and you try to dictate to him that he needs to be this way or that way in order for you to love him, in order for you to feel strong in your relationship, in order for you to feel confident as a person, your confidence, your self-esteem, your strength in your relationship should not be dependent on how somebody else is, their personality is, the way they're choosing to do in their life, how they're choosing to live, how they're choosing to even show up in the relationship. If you're in the relationship because you want to be there, then be there because you want to be there. Don't be there because you think that you need to be there. Don't be there because you think that you need to, show up in a certain way. Don't change your fucking self for somebody else, because those kinds of changes are not real changes. They're not. It's like the alcoholic who says, I'm not an alcoholic, I'm not going to drink with you. I know you don't drink and I do drink, so I'm going to give up drinking. Or the meat eater who dates the vegan and says, I'm not going to eat meat because we're in a relationship, but then they're not happy. They're not happy. They're not satisfied. They're probably they might be healthier in some ways, but ultimately they're not healthier because they're not happy. Happiness is the best health thing that you can do for yourself. When we try to change ourselves, when we move into these places to be something that we're not, to fit into the box that we've been given by somebody else, guess what happens? We're not happy. And when you're not happy, when you don't feel good, you're not being authentic. Plain and simple, you're not being authentic. And this is like my big revelation of the last couple days, is that I have been in such a place of like not feeling myself. And I've been saying, I'm not myself. I'm not myself. I need space. I need space to get clarity. And I have not really been given that space, but I had just a little wink of space in the last half a day, and maybe some good sleep too. And when I woke up this morning, and even last night, my realization, which I really truly believe that like the law of attraction definitely supports this, is that when we are not in a feel-good state, when we are not feeling good, we are not our authentic selves. No matter how much you want to be in integrity, no matter how much you want to be yourself and be authentic and raw and true, you cannot be your raw, true, authentic self and speak from integrity and act from integrity, love from integrity when you're not feeling good, because you're operating at such a low vibration, and that's not what your spirit is. Your spirit is a high vibration. You are a high vibrational being that gets bogged down by all the other shit of the world, the drama of other things coming into your life and how you are allowing them to come into your life. And what you have to do is you have to start being unavailable to those things coming in like that. You have to actually draw nice, strong boundaries in the ground and say, no, I'm not going to allow that. This is what I want. This is what I want to show up in my life. This is the kind of partner I want to show up in my life. This is the kind of abundance I want to show up in my life. This is the kind of home I want to have. This is the kind of car I want to have. This is the way I want my family to be. Those things. It's draw the fucking line in the sand and stop being available for all the shit. Because if you're available for the shit, you're going to get the shit, okay? Get very, very clear about what you want and focus on what you want. But in order to get clear on what you want, you have to actually experience, and this is what our relationship does for us, is relationship allows us to learn what we don't want. Okay? And when we feel this negative pull, when we get pulled down and drained to a point that we're just like, realize that puts you in a space of not being your authentic self. That puts you in a space of not being who you are. And now you're going to start waffling. You're going to start waffling into being something that you're not. And when you come out of that coma, guess what? Then you will come back. And that relationship's going to fucking blow up, okay? It will. It's going to blow up. So why as well just draw the line in the sand and say, this is where I'm at, and this is what I want, and this is what I need, and here are the boundaries, and get clear on that. And let the damage fall where it might, because sometimes that happens. But if that other person, and this is definitely more of a relationship conversation here, but if that other person is good with you being you and setting that tone there, and staying true to yourself, then that person will stay on board. Maybe you might go back and forth a little bit, but if they're not, then you know what? Do you want to get 20 years down the road with somebody that you never really were in love with, that you were just trying to meet their needs and completely drained you and completely made you into something that you were not, where you were lost and confused and not happy and not turned on to life and not living your abundant self that you can at that high vibration that you can, and really just fucking excited for life itself and drawing in the good shit? Because good shit comes when we're feeling good. Good shit comes when we're satisfied with the life that we're having. Good shit comes when we are actually commanding in the blessings and opening up to them, being available for the blessings. But we really do make ourselves available for all the shit because we think that that's what we should be doing. We think that that's what we need to be doing in order to have connection, in order to have intimacy, in order to have relationship. We have to make compromise. Well, if you're compromising yourself, that's too high of a compromise. It's way too high of a compromise for any relationship, for anything. Never, ever, ever compromise who you are for something outside of yourself. It's just not worth it. You will plummet, you will fall, you will crash, it will hurt. It's not worth it. So why settle for something that is not at the level that you needed to be at? And here's the thing that I have learned definitely the hard way. And gentlemen, I am going to say a couple things here. One is very much towards you guys, and the other one is general, okay? So the first one, the general one, is that as our vibration increases as individuals, as we learn who we are, as we learn how to draw in the things that we want, to manifest the things that we want consciously, as we do that, it becomes ever more difficult almost, because there's less people vibrating at that level to actually find solid, good, true connections, okay? The majority of the connections that you will find as you increase your light, all right, metaphysical beings out there, as you increase your light, as you increase your vibration, as you increase the frequency, as you get more into alignment, whatever words you want to use here, As you get into that soul alignment, you're going to find out that not too many people are in soul alignment. And the majority of the people that come after you that want to connect to you actually just want to feed off of your energy because they don't know how to do it for themselves. So if you have somebody in your life that you feel is feeding off of you, that is causing toxic energy exchange with you, that is draining you, let's say you're around them and you find yourself just going, and you're feeling drained, you're feeling fatigued, you're not feeling positive, your body is hurting, maybe you get a headache, maybe you get a nasal issues when you're around this person, maybe your throat starts to hurt, maybe your gut starts to go, maybe, I don't know, we all react differently. Your body's going to speak to you though, okay? When it's shutting down, it's going to speak to you. When it's not in alignment with somebody else's frequency, their vibration, it's going to tell you, okay? And in those moments, what you're going to notice is if you retreat from that person, if you retract from that person, your energy will go up and they will plummet, okay? They will plummet because when you turn your switch off to somebody like that, they will plummet and you will feel better. So that'll tell you, is it love or is it need? Well, if it was love, they wouldn't plummet and you wouldn't go whoo, fly into the sky. And if it was need, they are going to plummet and you're going to go whoo to the sky, okay? Your vibration will increase, their vibration will decrease. That is a need-based relationship. It is frequency of just a feeding relationship. It is not an intentional thing. It is just that one person has a void and is feeding off of the other person's lack of void in that area and is needing that person to fulfill a certain aspect. Most relationships are need-based. They are not love-based. People believe that they are in love when they're actually in a state of need. And they come together in a wound where they both are needy. They feed off of each other. One person will grow, expand, and then the other person will just feed off of them. But once that person's level of energy gets to a certain area, they all of a sudden can't handle it anymore and they have to sever the relationship. So if that's your relationship, there you go. That might be what's going on. If you are about like 80% of the population, that's probably what's going on. Really truly analyze your relationships. And I'm trying to break anybody up here. I'm just stating the truth, right? The raw, hardcore truth is that if you want to feel good, if you want to feel really in alignment, you have to analyze the people that are the closest in your world because we become like the people that we hang around the most. And if we have a whole bunch of leeching energies on us, then it is very, very hard to pull ourselves up. So you have to be very cautious. And I'm not just talking about romantic relationships here. This can be your children. This can be your siblings. This can be your parents. This can be your best friends. This can be your business partners, okay? But it definitely does show up in our intimate relationships probably the most. Probably the most, just because we get so caught up on that. All right, and then the other point that I was going to make to you gentlemen, because this is something that I learned, it was confirmed to me about 10, 12 years ago. It was something that I knew in my core for a long time. I just didn't have the words to explain it. And what I read the book, I don't remember what book it was, but it was one of David Dita's books. It was either The Way of the Superior Man or The Enlightened Sex Manual, one of the two. Maybe it was The Dear Lover. I don't know. I've read almost all of his books. So somewhere in there, David Dita has a quote, and I'm going to mess up his quote. But the gist of it is that a woman, once she has been loved to a certain level, no man will be able to penetrate her heart and soul or even her physical body to that level until they can actually go deeper than that. So if you are loving your woman and if she's still not opening to you, but she has had an immense love affair prior where she felt fully penetrated, guess what? Unless you are able to love her at this deeper level, you'll never be able to penetrate her any further. So in order to capture a woman's heart, remember I started this whole talk on I'm going to win your heart. Oh, really, buddy? Are you really going to win my heart? Well, here's how to do it. The win my heart would be that you're going to have to go bigger and better and deeper and more intimate and hold the space more than what the guy who penetrated me the deepest has already done. Now, I have had 2 experiences like that, and I can tell you that after the first experience, it took me about 13, 14, 15 years to find a guy that could go deeper. Go deeper and actually hold it at that level. And he went so much deeper that now my standards are so fucking high that it's not even, I mean, I was just like, I wasn't driving, as my daughter was driving home and we were trying to survive that this morning. I was actually telling her that my standards, I like this whole thing of, you know, like standards are here and here and here, and there's all this stuff going on. And I think that for us women, we tend to get caught in this idea that we should settle, that we're never going to have that. But then we have these gentlemen that come along and will say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I can love you this way, I can love you that way. But what the lack of understanding from a psychological, emotional, spiritual, energetic level is that you cannot penetrate a woman. You can't, unless you have to be willing to step in, and you have to be the man that can penetrate her at this level that is even deeper than the deepest that she's experienced. So in order for us to totally open up, to totally surrender to our man, we have to be able to be penetrated in this way that, I wish I had this quote because Dita says it's so much better. I'm totally wrecking this. But we have to be willing, we have to have a man that can actually take us there, that is strong enough to take us there and can hold that energy. Addison. And deeper, harder, and more penetrative does not mean throwing more events, money, and physical. It's holding space, loving, and accepting your woman. Absolutely. It's not about trying to buy our love. It's not about trying to take up all of our energy in different ways, or showing up in different ways, or trying to do some, you know, sexual feat in bed, or make us come 15,000 times. None of that is what it's about. It's a much more, remember, for us women, we are positively charged in our hearts, and in order to open up our genitals, we have to have our hearts penetrated at a deep level. So if you want to access your woman's sex and orgasm at a deeper level and really have her surrender, you have to go through her heart. And unlike with the majority of men, they're genitally positive, charged in the genitals, and the genitals will get you to the heart. Well, for the woman, it is that you have to actually penetrate our hearts in order to get to to fully surrender into our genitals, fully surrender mentally to you, fully surrender in different ways. It is really that emotional state. So if you want to penetrate your woman at a deeper level than what the previous love has, really pay attention to what she's sharing with you about that. If she's not sharing with you about that, try to do a little bit of inquiry around that. Do some inquiry, and also be able to breathe into different aspects of her. But anytime you're trying to put her into that box of what you think that you need her to do, or you need her to show up, realize that right there, you might be able to get her in it for a little bit, but as soon as she starts to rustle around, it's really going to be that she will break out of the box. At some point, she won't be able to settle anymore. So look at that, Steve. Heart is where it all starts. Absolutely. So yeah. So men, children, and selling. Don't settle. Don't fucking settle for anything that is not a fuck yes. Learn from everything that comes in, because even my 16-year-old daughter this morning, she's almost 16, she says to me, she's like, because she's got different guys that are talking to her and everything at work, and her old boyfriend's trying to pop back into her life and stuff. And as we're driving around and stuff, she was telling me, she's like, you know, I know that all relationship is supposed to teach us a lesson. She's like, you know, it's just, she's like, all relationships supposed to teach us at least lessons. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And I'm just like, I'm so grateful that even at 15 and a half, 16 years old, she understands that relationship is about learning lessons. It's about meeting herself a little bit more. It's about meeting ourselves. It's about learning what we want, learning what we don't want, learning our boundaries, learning what we're a fuck yes to, what we're a fuck no to, learning about how we can lean in, we can test, we can see, and being willing to witness somebody else's crap and say, can I hang with this? Do I want to hang with this? You know, is this just a recycling of something else? Man, my phone is just acting up here. A recycling of something else that is, you know, from my past, that's coming back to revisit to give me another learning opportunity around it? Or is this something where my learning opportunity is actually to put up the stop sign and say, no, I draw the line here. Here's my boundary. This is a non-negotiable. This is a fuck no situation. So really look at that, because I think that we do tend to not want to be alone. We believe that the happiest path is to be with somebody, and you're never going to fully be happy with yourself, with somebody else, until you can be happy with yourself. Can you actually survive, just hanging out with yourself, with no TV, with no music, with no Facebook, with no computer going? Can you just go and be with yourself for like 3-4 days in the woods and just completely unplugged and just be there with yourself? Or will that drive you fucking stir crazy? Now, to me, that sounds like a little bit of heaven. I'm on that shit. Give me an opportunity. But I am that person that will drive in the car without music on. I don't like a lot of noise around me, because I have so much activity in my life. I have so many people in my life. I have all this stuff going on. I cherish alone moments. I do understand that a lot of people have a lot of alone time. I question, is it truly alone time? Is it truly alone time, or are you busying yourself? Are you filling the space, that void that you're so scared to look into? That you're so scared to look into those shadowlands with noise, with chaos, with busyness? Because if you're filling it up with all that shit, then you're avoiding who you really are. You're avoiding what you really need to deal with. Are you masking that shit with different things? So much of it at the time, we mask it with being workaholics. We mask it with exercise, being exerciseaholics. We mask it with alcoholism, or, oh no, we're not alcoholics. We just drink a lot. We just go to the bar at 5 o'clock every single day, and we need to get our 2-3 drinks in, and then we can, let's decompress. Do you need decompression time? Because if you really truly need that decompression time, try the decompression time with a bottle of water and a meditation out by the lake instead, and actually allow yourself to tap into how you feel, what's going on in your body. Decompression time does not mean that you need to involve some sort of substance to mask the shit that's going on inside of you. It's just another form of covering up the shadowlands and ignoring them. So try a clearer path. Here we are. It's January. We're moving into February. The first month of the year is almost gone. Where are your goals at? Where are you at in what you want to accomplish for the year? What are you, how have you progressed through this month? Or have you just kind of let it kind of take you? Have you gotten charged up and done the things that you want to do? Are you happy, or are you sad? Are you mad? Are you depressed? Are you turned on? What is happening in your physical body right now, in your emotional state right now? Where are you at? Where are you at? If you just ask yourself that, and you get really, really raw and real and clear on this is where you're at, and then the next question, after you journal the shit out of that first question, and I guess I'm giving you guys homework, is to say, where do I want to go? Where do I want to go? Because if you don't know where you're at, and you're not really, really truthful with yourself about where you're at, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it, and get it handwritten out. And then the next thing is to know where the fuck you want to go. Because if you don't know where you're at and you don't know where you want to go, guess what? 2019 is going to be just like 2018, just like 2017, just like blah, 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 however long you've been at this, of not knowing where you're at and not knowing where you're wanting to go. And that means that you cannot mask your shit, because you need to definitely get into where you're at. Masking it will never give you your authentic truth. Masking it is only going to do that. Mask it. So pull the fucking mask off. Get real with yourself. Take some time. It's Friday. Take some time. You got the weekend. You work on the weekend? Find some time on the weekend to do something anyway. You don't work on the weekend? You got big plans? Cancel that shit if you have to take the time for yourself. Okay? Oh, thank you, Addison. She's posting a homework. Yes. Where are you at? Where do you want to go? Journal that out. See where it takes you, and see what Monday brings from just those 2 questions. Let me see. Announcements. There's a lot of announcements. First up, Addison and I are going to Santa Cruz the second week of February. We will be teaching our orgasm camp in Santa Cruz. So you can explore that on, I believe I don't think it's on my website. It's on Addison's website, where you can go and sign up. So if you are in the Santa Cruz area, California peeps watching this, if you are in the Santa Cruz area and you want to see our live model demo of the orgasm camp, well, we're going to be there. We're going to be teaching that. The orgasm camp that we do here in the Dallas area a couple times a year is going to Santa Cruz. So we will be getting some girls' beach time in and teaching about female sexuality. The other one is Max the Ancient Crystal Skull. Anybody who is more on the mystical, archaeological, historical, scientific, woo-woo stuff out there, and yep, woo-woo is a technical term, right? Who's just interested in crystal and potentially visiting Max the Ancient Crystal Skull, who is an anomaly for sure. This is Crystal Kai Paul and my 7th year hosting, and I host this at my house. It is all small group. There are private sessions, and we are doing a sleepover for Max. So you get to actually have continental breakfast here at my house with me and with a few other people, and of course we'll be doing I believe we have crystal bowls coming in to do a meditation Saturday evening, which will be February 2nd. And yeah, so it'll be really, really cool. And then the other one is Average Joe. I'm teaching Average Joe tomorrow. This is a Facebook Live class. Gentlemen, all this stuff that I was just talking about sex, about relationship, about connection, about communication, about not putting your girl in a box, about how do you actually win her heart? How do you actually win her heart? Well, guess what? I'm teaching class tomorrow. There is quite a few hours worth of already recorded training and downloads, PDF book, all this different stuff, but I'm also doing live training tomorrow at noon here on Facebook in a private group. So if you would like to join that, make sure that you go to my website underneath programs. That is the very first program on there called Not Your Average Joe. Click on the Learn More button and register your ass so that you can learn how to really, really, truly penetrate your woman mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and really truly claim her heart and learn what it really does take to connect with a woman. How does a woman really want to get supported? What's going on, okay, with her, and how can you connect? Not to mention some really cool ass tantric tips, tricks, and more around massage, lasting longer, holding your ejaculate, recycling your energy instead of just holding back, how to actually own your orgasm so that you can claim that for yourself as well and learn how to connect at a true, deeper tantric level and truly present. So Addison has been kind enough on this live stream right here to post the links to the Orgasm Camp, Max the Crystal Skull, and Not Your Average Joe online. Thank you, Addison, for doing that. If you are catching this on one of the other places like YouTube or on my coaching page where this will get transferred to as well, all the links are below. Will be below once I download and do all that fun stuff. So, okay, guys. I feel pretty complete. I feel pretty complete. So, I hope you guys go have a fucking phenomenal Friday and a fantastic Saturday. I hope you take the time to do the journal questions to really tap in and figure your shit out and figure out what you want for 2019. As always, stop existing, start living, and I will catch you tomorrow on another Conscious Coffee. Bye, guys.